Okay, so first things first, massive improvement from when we saw you a few months back before you started playing the course. That's a definite positive sign, okay? Your abilities now to swing a golf club are much better, okay? What we've got to try and do is accept the fact we're going to miss hit the golf ball every now and then, but improve the quality of the bad shot. And as well, stagger the club so you get the yardage they should be. So your 7 irons going 90, your 6 irons going 100, your hybrids going 110, 120. Not all going that 80, 90 yards, So your previous swing, again, setup was very, very good. This is the previous one, this is the one before, okay? So you can see on here now, as you take the golf club back, there's the club shaft. There's almost like you're sort of dragging the club away with your hands and arms as if the club kind of looks heavy, So even at this point here now, the club is still kind of behind your arm. You sort of just dragged it away this way. And very much of a lifting action, not much body turn. And then as you get to about here, there's no hinge of the wrist. And then eventually now your wrist will have to sort of start collapsing as you start the downswing. So you're not really getting into that good spot. And because of the way you've lifted, there needs to be a drop. Now, you're going to time that drop differently every single time. You've only got to be this much difference each downswing. And the contact's going to be here, here, or a good shot. But it's a very, very small margin of error, okay? So we're going to try and practice. And this is the way you want to make sure you practice your shot. And again, even at home doing practice swings, start off in a good setup. Just get the torso moving there, you see, So you can see as the club goes back now, you're just getting the body moving and twisting the start bit. This is this bit, there's no wrist hinge at all, Just turn your torso, the club gets parallel to the ground, and your hands and arms now have barely moved from the start bit. They're just sort of just taking that, you just handed the club to someone to your right. So you're getting that in the start position, okay? What we didn't have in this swing, unfortunately, was actually quite a good thing, because we can show you where the wrist hinge went wrong. You didn't do any of the sort of practice swing with the hinge of the wrist. So that's the backswing with the torso turning. There's no rehearsal of the hinge of the wrist, as you can see in these movements, okay? Then when we step to the golf ball, because you've rehearsed the body turn, there's a good body turn going back. But when you hinge the wrist here now, if you look at your left wrist, your left wrist has kind of bent round that way. So you haven't hinged the wrist in this fashion, you've kind of done it that way. But that's because you hadn't rehearsed it. Now, in terms of actual movement, in terms of the swing, it was fine. We came back to the golf ball. Really, really good strike of the golf ball, and the ball went a nice distance because you'd moved your body better. So the engine, as in the torso, was working really, really well. You just hadn't practiced the rehearsal of the hinge of the wrist. So we've got to make sure with every single shot we do, probably now in the next sort of month, 6 weeks, for every single shot, you rehearse this movement, to the point where it just becomes more natural, I mean, if you think, they say 10,000 repetitions to get muscle memory, that doesn't mean you have to hit 10,000 golf balls. You could spend 5 minutes a day with a club, just stood there doing this. Just doing this here now, that would get the movement, over and over again. You could probably do, roughly 100 in a minute. If you do 100 a minute, for 5 you've got 500. Do that twice a day, you got 1,000. In 10 days you got your 10,000. In 10 days, and that's not doing it excessively.
It's just getting from that then.
But then you do the same prep from here. Once you've got here, then you just from here now. So I'm going to hit the hammer there. I'm just going to hinge my wrist up that way, and that will probably be something that you would have a little bit more issues in doing, because it's not as natural for you to do that. But if you sort of stand facing on here now, if I said you hinge the wrist now, I think naturally your wrist would do that, see? So your torso's facing here towards the golf ball, we turn your torso here, and now you do it again, see? So the movement isn't necessarily a difficult move to make, just blending the two together.
I know.
But remember, when you're hitting a golf ball, we can't think of it all in one go, No. Your brain has to be focused on the golf ball and just swinging the club, as opposed to thinking, okay, where's my helmet now? And you get lost completely. Are you getting what we're understanding now with the wrist hinge? You understand?
Yes, I am.
Good.
Which is completely different to what I do.
Yes.
and I just, and the thing is,
a lot of times it's lost in translation. They will say things that aren't necessarily wrong, but have they explained it so you understand it?
I was hitting about 140 yards with the thing, because then what I want to do, I want it to be a proper shot, like I said. This is why.
But the thing is, you could get it 140 yards, but then if you get it wrong, it goes like 10 yards.
I know, exactly.
And that's the thing. And as you saw with,
you've almost got to go backwards to go forward, haven't you?
Well, if you played golf with some of the ladies who played more regular, I guess they think they the buddy system now. So you play with some maybe more established golfers who necessarily don't hit the ball as far as you, but every shot they hit is consistent. So you might hit 140 and they're hit 120, but all their shots are in that sort of 10 to 15 yard window, 110, 115, 120, whereas yours might go 140, but you might go 6. And that's what we've got to try and eliminate, okay? And if you've got some variables there, I mean, look at the difference in your height of posture there to where you started. I mean, there's the same sort of setup where you started here. If we go back to, you're pretty much the same sort of position. That's the lift and the drop. And again, sometimes the drop comes in if we top a golf ball. And if we've topped a golf ball, people will no doubt say those magic 4 words of keep your head down, which is completely wrong. But you get told that all the time. Keep your head down. Keep looking at the ball there. Don't worry about it. We'll watch where it goes.
Keep your head down for a little bit.
No, you don't. No. The head will stay down normally. Yeah. I mean, no one. I mean, if you're swinging the club as fast as you are, if your head to lift, you break your neck. I mean, if you moved your head at 70 miles, you'd be seeing a chiropractor next week. So don't think about keeping your head down. It's just because people have seen images of golfers when they've hit a golf ball and they're swinging through into this position here now. They go, oh, look, the head's staying down there. They're swinging the golf club at 140 mile an hour. No way their head's going to... their neck would break. So, never try and keep it down. Yeah, it will stay down if you swing properly, but you don't try and keep it down. The same way when you walk, do you think about keeping your arms straight? They don't flop around like sort of sap. They don't sort of rigid and stiff. So things a lot of time will happen and joints have to move. But practice the torso moving first. That sort of turn the torso. Once you got that engine working well, then put the wrist hinge in and then just blend the two together. But the more you can repeat that over and over again. And if you're not sure, honestly, please stand there. Get Grant to take a video, say, right, here's my practice swing, just send it across and go, am I doing it right? Because within 10 seconds I can go, brilliant, and then you go, okay, I'm doing it right, I can reassure it. You know, you might watch the video back. If you know you're doing it right, you can carry on doing it. If I go, hang on a second, Rachel, you're doing it a bit this way, you can go, okay, I'll make sure I don't do it. So you know you're doing it right. Is that okay?
Yeah, brilliant.
Brilliant, very good.